moves upon the annals of time. One thing that comes through, we are not alone in this universe. It's a thought that rings true. Ancient cave dwellers drew spacecraft on the poles. It's a recurring theme. I've seen the same thing while walking late at night, and I know it's not a dream.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadows dance in the sea.
If you tell the truth, they will ridicule everything you say and do. It's all part of a deception. It's a puppet master's tool. And I've seen those craft shut down the silos from 10 miles away. And there ain't nothing that the Pentagon can do. They can't make them go away.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadows dance in the sea. From Maelstrom to Manhattan, New York to LA, you can't get the picture if they're pale or they're gray. But what we have seen might not be what it seems when the government's shadows dance in the sea.
There are competing agendas to determine mankind's fate.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show.
And without the truckers, I'll tell you what, Christmas would be very empty. I'll tell you that. They do a lot. Everything from food to machinery to gifts for Christmas. A big shout out to all the truckers that listen to the show. Again, without you, we wouldn't be, experiencing society like we do. So big shout out to you guys. James, are you still with us?
Yes, I am still with you.
That's
Yes,
more
I
than
am.
my first wife was.
Would you want that to change?
Not really.
Okay, then. I didn't think so.
Yeah. Well, the show last night was really great. I tell you what, I'm still getting, during the break, I had to make another cup of tea. I drink so much tea at night that every 20 minutes I have to get up and go potty all night long because I'd probably drink a gallon of tea in this 4 hours of the show. I tell you, I even had to get a bigger cup to handle my tea for I could make it last during the show, each, segment.
We're gonna have to get you one of them bags or something that you drain.
I don't know. I don't know. Tea is supposed to be good for you, so I drink a lot of it. I'm trying to get away from soda again.
Yeah, well, that's good. That is good. The Lord knows you don't need any of this, the stuff I drink, and I've cut down on it too. But yeah, that stuff's not good for you.
No.
But yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna say last night's show it was off the hook, good, informative, and wow, I was blown away. It was good stuff.
Well, I'm glad somebody was blown away. No, but seriously, when you were telling me about another thing that happened like about a month or so before what happened with Jim, what can you tell the listeners a little bit about that, James?
Yeah, it was something. It was, I couldn't put it together, but I know I've heard so many cases and researched so much stuff and seen and read, and it finally come to me just a couple minutes before the show. But back in November of 1980, a month before Jim's incident, a policeman in the UK, this is in the UK, I think the town was called Todmorden or something like that. And there was he was off duty, but there was reports of people seeing some weird stuff. And there might have even been an abduction there also. I'm pretty sure there was. I think there was a body found where it's like the guy looked like he fell from space, But anyway, I'm about patterns and similarities and stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff that was ringing bells in my head with Jim's event. And this case here was a month before in the UK. The off-duty officer, he's driving on the road where the report wasn't, and on the road was this little craft. When he described it, pretty similar to what Jim said, and I heard him saying it from his own voice, the officer, and which there's more patterns, and the weird part was when he seen it, it was hovering just above the road. Same thing like the craft Jim seen. It was small, about the same size, hovering just above the ground, but no legs. There was that you could see. And the next thing that the officer knew that he can remember, that's his words, that he could remember, was he was in his car, and it was 40 minutes later. And if you remember Jim last night, his watch broke and lost 40 minutes. Another similarity. And I know there's more to it. I just didn't get to finish to watch the whole thing, but I knew there was something similar. I'm not saying it was the same craft, but there's a lot of similarities there, and I don't believe in coincidence at all. And it's close in the area. I mean, it's in the UK. It's not that far away.
I'm just wondering, that scout craft or whatever it was that came down in the forest, what was it actually doing? I mean, I know it was next to the RAF base and our Air Force base there that we shared with them. But why would they go there and not go somewhere closer? I mean, unless those lights went more than the forest and went over to the base and was checking the base out, or it was reading technology from the base. I don't know. That part still has me a little bit puzzled. Do you have anything you can kind of surmise about it?
I sure do, because I've been studying this a long time, and I've heard firsthand reports, not from Jim, but from other people that was on that base. Like I've heard a report from the guy that was in one of the towers, and also another guy that was there, and I can't think of their names, but anyway. Apparently, now I can't prove this, but from somebody that was there, because this was actually top secret, probably still is, there was some nukes there. And there's a lot of correlation with these drones from these crafts, whatever they may be, with these beings or whatever. And that's another thing. I could show you patterns of these things around the bases that have nukes or nuclear bases or silos or whatever. And reportedly, there was some nukes there, and it makes sense because it's Cold War, middle of the Cold War, and what that would be a logical place to have nukes, considering that Russia's just over the not that far away. So that would be a tactical thing. So that would be a reason for them to come there, maybe see what's going on with them, whatever they do with these nukes, because that's another thing, like these mutilations. There are so many instances where they're over these places that have nukes and do whatever they do.
But James, but most of these ones are like missile silos where they have a live missile there ready to launch. They got the control room. They have all that stuff where the UFOs will come over, right, supposedly, and then, start a countdown and then stop it just to show that they could take control. Now, according to Jim, these nukes were on the base were for a fighter that or a fighter bomber that, was discontinued, if I remember right. And they were just being stored on the base. They're not rockets. They're not anything, they're not going to go flying anywhere. They're just stored there. So I don't know.
I don't doubt that. But however, that doesn't mean that there wasn't something there that hasn't been declassified yet. Maybe he can't talk about it. Maybe he don't even know about it. Also, we don't know. There's just so much more that's going on. I just know that I've seen through the history of these different patterns of that. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I mean, that's probably what I think was probably going on, because why else would they want to go to that base? Unless they were having, and I don't think it was a mechanical problem, because I think it was more like a scouting drone type thing.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're just theories we don't know, but I mean, that's kind of what I'm leaning toward.
Well, see, this is where I'm starting to get confused, okay? We got all these different camps out there of people, coming forward and saying that they're encounters with objects, aliens, abductions, mutilations. All this stuff is going on, but the majority of it, I got the impression Jim didn't feel anything evil or anything bad, because he didn't say, he wasn't even really scared. The thing that I thought was strange, that when he felt the craft, it felt like smooth glass, and then it went rough, and then it had these, weird, writings on it, and he puts his hand on it, and he flashes in his eye like a flashbulb, numbers, symbols floating in his head. I don't know, unless they wanted him to touch it for some reason, for downloading information, to him.
Yeah, these are good questions. I do think that whatever material they're made out of, it's got a lot of memory material to it, so I think that's why it goes from smooth to rough and other kind of type things. I mean, I think that's plausible. But yeah, you got those binary codes flashing in his mind while he was touching it. Now, I don't know if they were target. I don't think it was targeting him. I think he was just kind of in the right place at the right time kind of situation, if that makes sense. But why he was there, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't supposed to access that. Maybe anybody that would touch it would have been able to access that. I don't know. We don't know. But again, these are all good questions.
Why would they have that on the outside of the craft? I mean, then you touch it and you get flash, boom, and you see all these numbers and sequence of numbers and stuff like that. I just, that part I don't understand. I mean, it was like a touchpad. What was the easier way to say it? A touchpad on that craft. But it makes me wonder, again, I think we're being visited by so many different, I'm not going to say species, humanoid creatures out there that, humanoid is anything with 2 legs and 2 arms, or 1 leg if one was amputated. But anyway, if you look at it logically, okay, that we just don't know what we're deling with. And that's the whole issue.
Yeah, you're right. And I will say this for the one question you got there. I have seen a lot of reports where it's believed, and not this comes from several different people throughout the years, that some of these crafts they're like half biological, half mechanical, and some of them there's no mechanism to even run them. It's like runs from the mind, so to speak. So I mean, if that's the case, maybe it's a biological AI combination of something, and if you touch it, you would probably tap into whatever's that they're feeding it through their own brain system with the AI. I don't know. I just know that I've seen these kind of reports before throughout the years of how they run it, and so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's all in the metrics in his hologram, and it's not existing at all. It's a figment of some humanoid alien's imagination, off of Venus.